This is the third in a series devoted to introducing the Codonix Medical Editor as a tool that can be used by clinicians to develop their own medical content and deploy it in existing EHRs. What does the medical editor look like? How does it work? On the next slides, we will review these questions. This is a view of the starting screen of the medical editor. Users can perform a large number of development and review features from this screen, but we are going to focus on the structure and content of several simple medical templates. There are 11,000 medical problems. Each one is a fully contained medical template. There are 16 different formats for these templates. Perhaps the simplest is the template with the format of choices. This presents the user a simple list of different choices. The most flexible type is of graphic, which will support virtually any common graphic format, along with shapes, buttons, and other features. Each template has a self-explanatory name. It includes the function of the template. In this case, the name is Add General Upper Exam Choices, and it presents a series of choices to describe a general upper abdominal physical exam. If the user double-clicks on the particular template, it is loaded into the development environment and can be reviewed, modified, copied, or deleted. Once a template is loaded, the developer can review its content by simply clicking on the Execute link. We can see that this template, which is designed to cover a simple upper abdominal physical exam, is rendered in the screen for review. In the next series of slides, we will review some of the properties of these templates. Let's look at a simple choices type template. We return to the starting screen for the medical editor. We will choose Add General Upper Exam Choices, which was highlighted on the previous example. We double-click to load the medical problem and then click Execute. In this case, a list of choices are presented to the user. If findings are localized to either the right upper quadrant, the epigastrium, or the left upper quadrant, a separate template of choices is loaded, since each of these areas have their own unique findings. The user can then simply choose the appropriate findings. It's tender to deep palpation, moderately so, there's no guarding, there's no organomegaly, and there are no peritoneal findings. This is an example of a very simple choices type template. Now, let's look at a simple table type template. As previously mentioned, there are many different types of templates. Using the editor, we can use some of its features to search for all templates of type table. In this case, there are 319 different problems. However, if we want to focus on a table template that is specific for the abdomen, we can add an additional search term for ABD. And for this example, we will choose Abdominal Exam Table. Once we execute it, we can see the differences. Note how the display is different from a simple list of choices. Tables are able to display significantly more options. As you can see, this table covers all aspects of a physical exam, all the way from general observation to previous surgeries and scars. Another difference is that when a choice is made, the corresponding text appears below. We can quickly document a full abdominal examination. A normal exam, there are hyperactive bowel sounds, there's no bruit, and we find general upper abdominal findings. Let's stop here and note how we went to the previous choices type table, which allows us to document general upper abdominal findings. This table links directly to the previous set of choices concerning an exam. This is a simple example of how various templates can be linked together. Finally, let's look at a template of type graphic. Again, if we filter on graphic, we can see that there are 1,086 templates of type graphic. If we narrow the search by adding the filter of ABD, there are only 10 problems that contain this text. We want to look at abdomen, chest wall, adult male graphic. We will double-click on it to load it, and then we will hit execute to view the template. This is one type of graphic template that uses medical art to allow the user to quickly point to the area that we want to examine. For example, the right upper quadrant, the mid-epigastrium, the left upper quadrant, the suprapubic area, the right posterior chest wall, etc. If we choose the right lower quadrant, we are prompted for such specific signs as a positive or negative psoas sign. We can quickly document the findings by saying that they're tender to palpation, moderately so, that there's no guarding, that there is no rebound, there are no masses or fullness, and there's a negative psoas sign. In this simple example of over 50 different workflows have been consolidated into a simple graphical depiction of the human body. This is both intuitive and eliminates what would otherwise have been seemingly endless drop-down lists of choices. In the next brief series, we will look at how these templates are linked together. Let's put these templates together and see them in action. We start with this screen, which is the starting point for all physician documentation. This screen is also of type graphic and supports both internal and external internet links, text boxes, buttons, graphics, and a host of other features. From this screen, users can document a new visit, review previous visits, place orders, write prescriptions, review lab results, perform procedures. In fact, virtually any type of patient documentation can be launched from this one central screen. In this case, we want to do a quick physical exam of the abdomen to demonstrate how the various templates are linked together. When we choose physical exam, we are given a host of choices. We can do default exams, we can do soft tissue exams, we can do routine physical exams like school physicals, we can do trauma surveys, we can do specific orthopedic exams, but in this case we want to do an abdominal exam. So we'll click on the specifics. Note that this takes us to our table. We've seen this table before. The patient has a normal exam, there's nothing unusual, but there are some localized findings. When we click on localized findings, we see the graphic exam that we had seen previously. We're going to click on the right lower quadrant, and we're going to say that the patient was tender to palpation, moderately so, that the rest of the abdomen was soft, that there was no local guarding, that there was no local rebound, there were no masses or fullness, however there was a positive psoas sign. We can see that this allows us to document a physical exam very quickly. When we go to next and return back, we can return back to the original screen, and when we get to the original starting screen, we see that the abdominal exam has been documented in easily readable text. We've documented that the right lower quadrant abdominal pain with an R10.31 is the primary problem. We've also documented there was a moderate fever, that was from previous exam. And note that this is a very intuitive and quick way of documenting. In the next section, we will examine how easily these templates can be generated and the virtually unlimited amount of data that they can capture.